Often, greatness carries with it the cries of its admirers. And those who wield it make sure you know it.
Everyone else is trash.
What am I going to do with a title? I'll take the money.
But sometimes, the greatest among us let their actions speak louder than words.
Jjonak! Jjonak with a huge snipe.
Today, you're going to learn the story of silent greatness, of someone who walked out of the shadows and took no prisoners.
Jjonak, he's got the nano boost and now he's going crazy.
Jjonak!
Someone who'll assassinate you without a sound.
This guy, Zenyatta, is just insane.
This is the story of Overwatch's deadliest support.
Jjonak, this is a guy and the name we hear so often because of how potent he is on that Zenyatta role.
This is the story of Jjonak. To find the origin story of Sunghyun Jjonak Bang, you've got to travel east to where many of esports' most celebrated names got their start.
저는 경기도 오산에서 태어났고 초등학교 2학년 때부터 서울로 전학을 가가지고 그때부터는 계속 서울에서 살았습니다.
He was a rebellious kid. In a culture where school is prioritized above almost everything, he neglected his studies. And by the time he reached his second year of high school, he decided to pursue his passion, gaming.
취미는 초등학교 때부터 계속 그냥 게임만 계속 좋아하고 그냥 취미 게임밖에 없었던 것 같아요.
After all, being a pro gamer is something he's always dreamed of.
초등학교 때는 맨날 적으라 하면은 프로게이머 맨날 적었고요.
And Jjonak quite literally played everything that was put in front of him.
내가 처음 접했던 게임은 초등학생 때 격투 게임 개댐프드라고 한국에서 예전에 유명했던 게임이 있거든요. 그거 처음 접했고.
On one fateful day during his second year of high school, he and a few friends stopped at a PC bang on their way to an after-school event. And he came across the game that would change his life.
맥크리란 킬트를 했었는데 그때 궁으로 엄청 많이 잡고 그때 좀 잘해가지고 그때부터 뭔가 관심이 있어가지고 그렇게 시작했어요.
A short time later, his mother handed him some pocket money as a small surprise, which he used to purchase his own copy of the game. It was on that day that Sunghyun Bang became Jjonak. Jjonak didn't have the same path to Overwatch's biggest stage as many of his peers. In South Korea, the Overwatch scene began to grow when it was still in open beta and was first to establish its own competitive scene, Apex.
Hey guys, welcome to Intel Overwatch Apex Season 1. I'm Doe, with me is Monte Cristo, and here we go, man. It's a new game. It's Overwatch. It's gonna be epic.
So naturally, the world's greatest names flocked to Korea in the hopes of establishing themselves for whatever competitive future Overwatch held. Names like Seagull, Taimu, and Ryujong used Apex as a proving ground to show that they had what it took to dominate this new game.
Oh, it hurt so bad.
I mean, knew where he was, obviously.
Or Carpe.
Carpe knew that Taimu knew where he was, so you got to expect that. But man, sometimes you don't expect that level of accuracy.
Damage, Anna, that we've heard so much about. Into the sleep dart. Oh, J-Hope decides, you know what? I'm just going to hard carry this one, guys. Don't worry about it. Fight's on me.
And it was there, during the Apex era, where Jjonak's pro career started. But not where you might expect. Not on stage playing support, but in the crowd, cheering on his close friend Guido as he hoisted the Apex trophy in Season 3.
그 기도 선수가 우승컵 들고 우승 소감 말할 때 울기도 하면서 그거 보면서 솔직히 좀 배도 좀 아프긴 했는데.
And it was there, in that arena, that he knew he wanted to give everything to become a pro player.
그거 보면서 아 나도 한번 저렇게 해보고 싶다 해가지고 그때부터 결심했던 것 같아요.
In 2016, Blizzard had announced the Overwatch League at BlizzCon a year after the game's release.
We're looking for the top players in the world and the team owners who will form the Overwatch League.
So while everyone was over competing in Apex, they now had their sights set on something bigger, a fully franchised and geolocated league.
There will be a combine where players attend tryouts and will be evaluated by team owners and coaches across a series of tests.
As the original 12 teams were formed, it was time for them to pick up rosters.
Today is a day you all been waiting for. It's roster reveal day. And to help me announce our SF Overwatch League roster, I've invited some new friends who have joined the NRG fam to help me out.
There's been a lot of people talking about the Overwatch League roster. We tried lots of amazing players from around the world for many, many months to put together what we think is a beast of a team.
Jjonak had built himself a reputation as a lethal support player during that era. He possessed all the game sense and communication pro teams wanted from a support, but could wield characters like Zenyatta in a proactive way that was very unusual, even at the highest level.
Very high energy.
Ryan behind, watch out.
Jjonak had star power, and the Overwatch League took notice.
Some players, for example, like Mano, Jjonak, and Livro, Fahey does a lot of those recommendations. He's pretty good at scouting, as you can obviously see from, scouting Jjonak.
As rosters were being finalized for the inaugural season of the Overwatch League, Jjonak was plucked straight out of Overwatch's competitive in-game ladder to become a starting support for the New York Excelsior.
경쟁전만 제가 거의 하다가 리그로 가는 느낌은 솔직히 그렇게 큰 차이는 없었고 그냥 더 어려운 경쟁전 이런 느낌?
Unlike other esports scenes that have slowly crawled towards tangible contracts and outside investment, Overwatch League raced to it. And what that meant for the players was that Season 1 was a blank slate. Sure, Dallas had some of the biggest names in the game, and Seoul possessed unbelievable individual skill, but there were so many question marks. And when the lights flashed on, it was a team of Koreans wearing blue that shocked the league.
And the New York XL will walk it home on Numbani.
3-1 final score for New York Excelsior. It seems like that has been a trend today. And they did not disappoint. I mean, nobody could be disappointed with Pine's performance, but I think that everybody else, they really did show.
And NYXL will take this series.
That they will. 3-1 will be the victory for New York. Libero holding onto that tactical visor and just waiting for that Valkyrie at the end. This is the most clinical we have seen the Excelsior so far, hands down. Purely based on their own play and the precision of their teamwork, this has been their most convincing victory.
New York got off to a roaring 4-0 start during Season 1's first stage and looked like a well-oiled machine.
I think NYXL is a top 2 team, maybe even the best in the world.
They had Sabiolby and Pine making highlight reel DPS plays.
Rez comes in from NYXL, and here comes Pine. Gets one, gets two. Looking for a bit more, gets another one. Are you kidding me? This guy is going to single-handedly change the point back over to NYXL. He's going to kill everybody. Whoa!
Mano and Mako holding it down on the tank line.
Sniping the Riptire there of Envy, that's a huge kill. You could have potentially saw that Riptire come and take Arc out of the sky, but NYXL turning up here. 17 seconds left, Agility's trying to save his support. Unbelievable! Gets the kill onto Unko, huge play from Meko.
Arc as one support, and of course, Jjonak, who filled out the roster in the second support slot. Although with Jjonak, it feels wrong to associate him with any traditional Overwatch role, because when he plays, it's like nothing we've ever seen before.
Widow duel. Jjonak with a huge snipe gets Linkser low. Forced to pop the wings now, both sides.
Now 2 big kills coming through here for New York. Excel, Bonnie just bold as brass, trying to go for the res out in the middle of the chaos. Not enough distractions there, he will not survive it. Arhan now just taking a volley as well. Jjonak ends him with a boot to the face.
Now, for your average pro, what that means is pretty simple. Your job is to keep your team alive, land timely discords in teamfights, and pop your Transcendence ability just in time to turn the tides of battle. But for Jjonak, Zenyatta is lethal.
Payload, and that's going to be a problem.
That's the thing. Ooh, Jjonak with a kill onto Super sets it up for the rest of his team to win this one. Nice fadeaway orb on the Moth as he flees the fight, and that's going to be New York holding on A. He can't get the translocator off in time. Goodbye, Fraggy, though. Jjonak, he's got the nano boost, and now he's going crazy. Neptuno down as well. Pops a Transcendence. for Meko. Florida gets out of the way. Jjonak gets some space to come in. Firing away at Zebasai. Can't quite get the kill though now. Turns his attention onto Swoosh. A little bit low health. Nearly taken up by that Winston, and he stays alive just barely. Gotta run though.
Arc keeps him alive. I think it's on 9 HP there at one point in time, but he stays upright.
About as close as it gets. Nice shot on his Saya player. Whoa!
Saya player was ulting. He had just tagged.
That's right, Manitin down. He was demeched. Didn't have a chance to stay alive. Oh, hey, not his hand. He needs that to hold the gun.
He plays the character and is positioned much differently than any other support in the league. He's this healing sniper hybrid, balancing his role with his ferocious aggression.
제가 왜 딜러를 안 하고 좀 딜러 같은 서포터를 그런 지니아타나 아나 같은 영웅을 했냐면 딜러가 딜을 넣는 건 좀 상대가 느끼기 좀 당연하죠? 그렇다고 생각하고 근데 젠야타나 뭐 아나가 계속 킬을 따거나 그런 건 상대가 좀 어이없을 것 같아서 그래서 처음부터 고르고 좋아한 것 같아요.
Throughout the entirety of Season 1, Jjonak led the league in both damage and eliminations for support players. What's more is that the way he played ended up defining the way that New York played around him. They took a defensive tact to their strategic approach. They'd lull their opponents into a false sense of security, absorbing pressure and going late into fights. This would then allow Jjonak to land the volleys they needed to take down each fight one by one. He learned it from watching his hero, a player he modeled his game after, and someone who would become his greatest adversary in the Overwatch League, Ryu Jae-hong.
그러다 보니까 계속 좋아져서 키보드나 마우스나 마우스패드, 감도 그런 것까지 다 따라하게 됐고
And early in Stage 1 of Season 1, he'd get to go toe-to-toe with his idol.
This is the most likely map that you will see far on Unleash on Tower. Both teams do Jjonak!
The focus, the target calling here, everything is impeccable for New York Excel. No resurrect possible, especially not when you're dead! And New York, they might well have done it. They might have dethroned the Kings, declawed the Cats, and they are the new Kings of Overwatch League!
처음에 제 우상인 재영이 형 선수 이겼을 때는 진짜 말로 표현하기 힘들 정도로 그냥 엄청 좋았죠.
And it was there and then, after New York beat Seoul in Stage 1, that it became clear just how good they could be.
That was the genesis of the concept of this unbeatable NYXL, machine. That Seoul was expected to be the top team, and New York ended up prevailing against them.
From that moment on, they took no prisoners. They went 9-1 during Stage 1 with an absurd plus 21 map differential, but showed they were beatable when they were bested by a surging London Spitfire in the Stage 1 finals.
Libero, last man standing, OT ticking away, and that is it. London Spitfire will be your Overwatch League Stage 1 champions.
They followed up their Stage 1 performance with another 9-1 split in Stage 2, but this time, they closed.
Boombox has to commit. He and Neptuno standing tall. Now the Resurrect is going to be there. It's Poco that's brought back to the fight. Jjonak goes in. Poco never got to remake. Libero picked him off on the Widowmaker. Jjonak now low, but he's been pocketed by the healing, and it's just EQO. One man, Neptuno to step up. Carpe on the Widowmaker has to fight the old-fashioned way, but it won't be enough. Ever upward, and the NYXL stand finally at the top.
New York didn't stop there, though. They wanted more, and continued their onslaught over the course of Stage 3.
Who is going to make it back? Mistake switch to Sombra, but he can't touch the point. And New York Excel defend their title. They are the Stage 2 and 3 champions of the Overwatch League.
팀이 일단 제일 많이 이겼고 다른 팀들이랑 비교해보면은 그래가지고 엄청 자랑스럽고.
After a 7-3 performance in Stage 4, it was time for the entire community to look toward the playoffs, where the first ever Overwatch League champions would be crowned. Despite rumblings about the surging Philadelphia Fusion and London's great roster, New York were the odds-on favorite to take home the crown. But for New York in Season 1, it wasn't meant to be.
The blade is out, they're getting all the kills in the world, and it is last second self-destruct, not gonna be enough!
This is it, the moment, Philly, they've done it! They've held the 3-0 win over New York Excel in the first match of this semifinal.
Philadelphia Fusion, have they done it? Have they set themselves to the Overwatch League Grand Finals? I think they may have.
They have. Doa Ark's the only one left there on the point. That is it!
Philadelphia Fusion is going to the Grand Finals!
heartbreak struck.
저희는 좀 울었던 사람들이 많아가지고 그냥 울음바다라고 설명하면 될 것 같아요.
당연히 슬퍼한 것 같고, 왜냐면 일단 이겼으면은 저희가 결승전이 그 뉴욕에 가서 하는 건데, 그게 저희 홈이면서 엄청 뜻깊은 경험이 될 수도 있는 거였는데 저희가 그냥 못해서 못 간 거라 그게 엄청 속상해가지고 그냥 팀원들이 엄청 많이 슬퍼한 것 같습니다.
Jjonak and the New York Excelsior hoped to have their day in the sun. But that day was not going to be in the Overwatch League's inaugural season.
Without any further ado, I present to you the inaugural Overwatch League MVP.
In a bittersweet celebration at the end of the season, Jjonak was named the Season 1 MVP. He revolutionized his position and performed with jaw-dropping consistency all year long.
This couldn't have gone better.
Well, maybe Jjonak doing what Jjonak does. That is 3 kills for the Madman on Zenyatta. Not over yet. He's looking for more.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, they had to wait for the barrier. That's why it took so long for Pine to be revived. Making sure it was okay for Arc, and now they are going to charge forward into the Spitfire.
Oh man, Jjonak finding the hook, finding the kills. Another one comes in. He's got it on cooldown now. In just a few seconds here, playing it safe now.
Yeah, but the tanks are on the point.
Oh, in fact, finds Libero though.
Jjonak.
I can't believe. Oh, he gets effect too. This guy Zenyatta is just insane.
일단 현재로서는 1등을 달리고 있는 현재 리그 1등을 달리고 있는 쪼낙 선수가 1등이라고 생각합니다.
That's obviously Jjonak. 지금 리그에서 제나타 제일 잘하고 있는 것 같은 선수는 저는 저라고 생각합니다.
But there was more to it than that. The New York Excelsior had grown in ways that didn't stop when the payload stopped moving. You see, when it's the first year of this massive league, and teams are thrown together, and you fly to another country with hopes of glory, it's difficult for fans to put a face to your name. And what New York did in Season 1 was build themselves and their fan base into more than just an Overwatch team. And Jjonak was right at the center of that.
Why did you have to do that to Jjonak? He looks like one of the aliens on Camino making clones from Star Wars. I'm human.
Jjonak's the type of superstar that sometimes feels ice cold. He's never shook on stage. Win or lose, he remains calm. And it's that kind of nonchalant attitude, that I click heads like this for $100 bills swagger, that has made New York one of the most beloved teams in the world.
But I'll tell you, New York Excelsior is a very different kind of team because they've probably got one of the most personable sets of individuals that you can have.
They've become known as the team with the custom Air Force Ones and Balenciaga sneakers. They've collabed with New York legacy streetwear brand Undefeated and haven't shied away from showing some of that drip on camera.
Yeah, looks good.
They've made it so no matter how they perform, who's in the starting lineup, or where they're playing, you know what the New York Excelsior stand for. Outside of his matches, Jjonak has become known for the uncanny similarities between him and his character of choice, Zenyatta. His fans quite literally flock to YouTube to watch him meditate on stream. For all intents and purposes, Jjonak feels like the kind of guy that would be passed over by fans. He's not in your face or loud. But there's something infatuating about his signature round glasses and often re-dyed bowl cut. He's just cool, even in silence, and that's enough for his fans.
I wish I looked as cool as Jjonak does, because that kid is just so much swagger, it hurts.
All Gucci slides and Adidas aside, New York had a job to do as Season 2 approached.
시즌 2는 제가 시즌 2 제 시즌 MVP랑 플레이오프 MVP까지 다 한번 따보겠습니다.
This year, there'd be 8 more teams to compete with, and it was time they made amends for a missed opportunity in the Season 1 playoffs. But early on in Season 2, all eyes were on another all-Korean roster, dominating in a similar fashion to the way New York had just a year earlier.
But too quick, the grab not working out. Oh, Jjonak! manages to get the 4K. The Titans with the crucial play at the very end. I think Slime might have gotten a boop there himself as well to set that up. Any way you slice it, that's going to be Vancouver Titans taking the series. Combo time, and they will win it.
Bumper sinking in from the back. The shatter comes down. Good night. Brutal, savage, wrecked.
Of course, the Titans went fully undefeated in Stage 1 of Season 2. That said, New York matched them step by step.
They're chopped to the ground, though. Nice sound barrier for New York. All the ults coming online at just right time. And the Earthshatter under the payload is going to seal the deal. And NYXL, they will stop Boston's progress right here.
So many naysayers, they had an easy schedule, they say. This is not their meta, they say. New York will not excel, but it's in their name, and that is exactly what they do.
Does not have the deep matrix in time. Shatter comes down. The bomb again. They do it again. The effective 5-man bomb comes through. And the Houston Outlaws are knocked out of the park. Grand slam for New York.
But then, they came up against the Seoul Dynasty.
Trying to make it back in, but Jayhong has the right click. They take him down the flip. Will now come in. The pile driver hits. Libero's knocked out of the park. And this is looking like a 2-0. Unless they can pull off a miracle with the back of the shatter there from Marvel. They can't do anything. Seoul Dynasty kick off their first stage playoff appearance with a 2-0 victory over the New York Excelsior. Fisher with the shatter online. The grab comes up first. Locking him up. Mono going to be taken down. Fisher swings to win. Libero now eliminated. Fisher gets himself a triple.
This cannot be happening.
They've actually done it. Nene chokes at the final hour. Throws the grab off to the side. And Dynasty say thank you very much. We're going to the semis.
Unbelievable upset. No one predicted this. Not a single person. No analyst said that Seoul Dynasty would take this, and they do it in flying colors.
This has become the biggest chink in the armor for Jjonak and New York. Despite their overwhelming success, you can't help but notice their propensity for playing down to the level of their competition. And in this way, they've taken some pretty ugly losses.
Taken down, Jjonak in the back, the team wipe comes through, Atlanta Rain. No draws here, they get it with a 3-0. The first team to take down NYXL.
They did it against all odds. No one expected this, no one predicted this.
They've remained one of the best teams in the Overwatch League throughout the first 2 stages of Season 2, but are nestled just below Vancouver and San Francisco in the minds of most top analysts.
The weird thing is, I think they match up well against the Vancouver Titans. So, like Brent's saying, perhaps, if I'm being real, maybe they don't belong in the top 3 just based on the fact that other teams in the mid-table, I think, are going to find it easier to beat New York.
Frankly, New York has a lot to prove right now.
저 이번 시즌은 진짜 잘해야겠다. 더 어떻게든 이겨보려고 하는 것 같아요, 이제.
The metagame has shifted from the dive-centric offensive playstyle we saw last year to one where tanks and supports reign supreme. And this shift hasn't helped Jjonak.
I feel like the reason I say that Jjonak is the weak point for New York right now is because their playstyle is so invested in him alone, right? They want to pump all their resources into him, the armor pack, the bubbles, everything. What's left for the front line? Nene's getting obliterated time and time again because of this playstyle.
During Season 2, he's had to spend more time playing Ana rather than Zenyatta, and the 3-tank, 3-support compositions that he's playing a majority of the time rely much more on his transcendence than his ability to click heads.
A couple of players have fallen, they lose a couple of them, and Jjonak tries to turn a 4v6 fight with a transcendence. Now, sometimes this is good, but at the end of the day, overconfidence is a flimsy shield, and you can see where they would have used this ultimate, like they could have used this transcendence right here in the following team fight.
As Stage 2 came to a close, they finally got their shot against Vancouver in the semifinals.
지금 밴쿠버가 진 적이 한 번도 없는데 솔직히 왜 한 번도 안 진지 모르겠고 저희가 무조건 이길 거라 자신합니다.
But they just couldn't match up to the league's best GOATS team. They got run over.
The Titans, they're going to get it done! First map goes the way of the Vancouver Titans. There's the start that they were looking for in this semifinal. Jjonak did manage to get the trance off, but it doesn't really matter. His teammates are going down, and the Vancouver Titans are looking like they are going to get the job done here.
Lucio's gonna get there, but he's not gonna be happy to see what it is. Vancouver Titans going back to the stage finals.
So for the New York Excelsior, a lot of this season hangs on the shoulders of their star once more.
So we can take a look at Jjonak on May. So, you know, we see Jayhong play a decent amount of May on Junkertown, and what? Look at this guy.
is just a blessing. And look at this! Look at the vengeance!
Just kind of peek over just a little bit. We can get this through Jjonak's perspective.
That's it. That's it. Right. So, man, we'll just watch this one again. Deals with the Genji, deals with the Tracer.
Configuration tank now going to be expiring. The second tank nearly going to be there. Jjonak, oh man, this takes him down right up in the face of a Bastion. Finds a triple kill as Gino and Arc also fall. Let's go ahead and make it 4. You got 4 for me, Jjonak. Let's go ahead and say it. Samsung's going to be dumping the bomb, trying to make it back in, but there it is. Gets him in the face, and NYXL just take the point on the back of Jjonak.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring that notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit up our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages.